That's the 10X rule, though. The 10X rule says, look, you don't stop when you get there. You keep pushing.
As long as you live your life ruled by fear of other people judging you, you're never going to accomplish anything great.
I was annoyed by how all the journalists asked all the athletes the same stupid question. Literally, everyone.
Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time. Good morning, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person, but if you stay committed to having a morning routine that inspires you, your entire life will change. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your cup of coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of Entspresso with Grant Cardone. Cheers.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
I was insecure before the event, thinking the night before, you know, there's no way all these people aren't going to show up. This place is going to be half empty.
Oh,
Biggest fear I have.
that's gotta be, if you're walking on a stage and seeing crickets.
Nobody's in the room. Or you start and everybody starts leaving.
Oh, you see them walking out.
People start walking out. Like, this is two biggest fears I have. So that was scary all the way up to the night of the event. Like, I was terrified, fearful, like they're not going to show up. Then even once we did that, we have a room a third the size of last year. I have worried every day since the last event whether this one will work.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, man. I know how hard they are.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to show up.
And I
every
just,
year.
even when we're sold out, well, I'll keep pushing.
You keep selling.
Yeah, because I don't trust the numbers. I don't trust that people will show up. That's the 10X rule, though. The 10X rule says, look, you don't stop when you get there. You keep pushing. And that way the place will be full.
Yeah.
Fear can no longer be an acceptable reason for you not to go, not to take action. Because whatever you want to do, whatever big goal, big mission, big dream that you have, everything you want is on the other side of that fear. And what we've done is we've conditioned ourselves to accept fear, being afraid, as an acceptable reason for us not to take action. I can't tell you how many times people message me and I give them an advice and give them the solution to get out, and they say, well, I'm really afraid, or that's too scary, that's too hard, I can't do that. We've been conditioned to accept fear, especially when it's somebody else's opinion. I'm not talking about fear of jumping off a bridge, right? Don't do something stupid, right? But fear of other people's judgment as an acceptable reason for you not to take action is the thing that we need to stomp out of your mindset. Because as long as you live your life ruled by fear of other people judging you, you're never going to accomplish anything great. You just won't. You're always going to play small, knowing that you're capable of more. So recently I was asked to speak at Grant Cardone's 10X online event. And when they reached out to ask, I was nervous. I was afraid, right? Boom, 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 boom. I have a boom, boom, boom test when your heart's going like crazy, or when you say scary, difficult, or hard, that means you do it. Shortcut the thought process, because usually what happens, you get scared to do something, you feel it, you say it's scary, and then what your brain does is start to rationalize why you can't do it. Oh, I'm busy that day. Oh, I don't know what I would talk about. Oh, I can't do it because you find all these reasons why you can't do it, right? It's crazy how quickly our brain just takes over. But your brain is keeping you small. Your brain is keeping you safe. What I need to do is shortcut the brain. You need to shortcut your brain and recognize that as soon as you feel that it's scary, it's difficult, it's hard, it's boom, 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 that means you do it. So Grant's team reaches out, hey, Evan, why don't you speak at 10X? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's go. That's just, I don't even care what day. I'll make it work. I'll find a time. We'll make it work. It's going to happen, right? Yes. Then I get on the day of the event, and the day of the event, he's got all these great speakers. He had Tim Story, he had Lewis Howes, he had all these great people on his show. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for my turn, and it's just this little, mini panic attack. Am I next? Am I next? Am I next? Am I next? And just before me was him and Lewis. And Lewis did this great interview with Grant, and they were going back and forth. And it's like, okay, you know what? This is doable. Like, I like this. I can handle this. No problem. I'm on my trampoline and jumping. I'm like, sub me in. Bring me in, coach. Come on, let's go. And then when Grant brings me in, he had just been talking the entire day. And so my part was actually his break. So he said, Evan Carmichael is going to come in, Tell us how to win on social media. Tell us how to win on YouTube. Let's go, Evan. And he gave some really nice intro for me. And then he said, okay, over to you. And that was me by myself, right? When I thought it was going to be a back and forth to make it easier. But no, boom, 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 boom. Like, okay, here we go, guys. Let's go. 10X. And I had, I don't know, about an hour or so that I was talking there. And it's the willingness to step into it that creates the self-confidence and self-belief. Because if every time you get afraid and then you don't do it, you're teaching yourself that you face fear and then you shrink. You come up against something scary, difficult, hard, you back down. That's a reinforcement of a pattern of thinking and acting that will keep you there. That is happening subconsciously. You'll say no to things out of fear without even recognizing that you were afraid because you believe the rational reason why you can't do it. You won't believe a stupid reason. You're going to believe a really smart reason why you can't do something. But buried deep underneath that is really just fear. And so that's what I want to break myself out of. That's what I want to break you guys out of as well, is that when you're afraid of something, you step into it. So step one is actually catching it. Step one is saying either scary, difficult, hard. Those are trigger words for me. If I say it, if I write it, if I'm thinking it and I can catch it, scary, difficult, hard, that means I have to do it. Those are no longer acceptable reasons for not taking action, period. Train that. And the second is the boom, boom, boom test, right? Like you feel it in your body. You may not say it, but you feel your heart beating crazy like this, right? It's coming out of your chest, do it. As long as it's not against your ethics, as long as it's not against your core values, right? Don't go rob a store because your heart's beating like crazy, right? Most of the things you're afraid of, though, are not actually dangerous, are not going to screw somebody else over, right? It's really just judgment of other people's opinions. So that's step one, is just trying to catch it, either verbally through the words or physically in your body with your heartbeat. So now we've caught it. So what do we do? Well, the thing that helps me, I have a 2-step process to kind of get through the fear, to dance with it, to play with it, and to get through it so that I come out on the other side feeling proud of myself instead of not so proud. Because what really matters is how do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. So if you had something difficult and you backed down and you played small, other people might let you off the hook. But when you go home and you look yourself in the mirror, you're not proud of what you see. You're not proud. It's like, there's a part of you that knows you shrunk because you were afraid. And you can't let that fester. That's what we need to switch. So how do you get out of it? You've recognized that this is the moment, right? It's just fear talking now. It's not the logical reason. It's just fear talking. This is why you can't move forward. Step one is teach yourself that you do difficult things, right? That you want to pat yourself on the back, that you do difficult things. And so I'll remind myself. So that day going into Grant's 10X event I'm reminding myself, I'm Evan Carmichael. I do difficult things. I do difficult things. And just reminding myself of that makes me realize that, yeah, I do difficult things. I want to live up to that promise because I know on the other side is me hugging myself, is me high-fiving or patting myself on the back. That's what you're chasing. Right? That's what you want. That's how you build your self-esteem, self-love, self-confidence, by doing difficult things. So you remind yourself, I am your name and I do difficult things, right? It sounds stupid. It sounds silly. It works. So whenever I'm in the moment and I want to freeze and I want to run away and I want to say that my camera doesn't work or find some excuse out, no, I do difficult things. The second thing that really serves me is understanding that I'm here to serve. And so as soon as I get it out of my own head where you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. I don't want to let people down. I don't want to let Grant down. I don't want to let these people down. I don't want to be a failure. I want to be judged, right? As soon as we can get out of that and say, no, I'm here to help people, right? What you're afraid of is actually in service to people. You're trying to help. You got a mission. You got a message. The knowledge you've got in here can change people's lives. Your intent is positive. You're trying to help people. You're not trying to create something that's going to screw people over, right? If you are, then you should be scared and nervous, and that's not a good enough reason anymore to keep going. You're trying to help. You're trying to do good. And so focus on them. Focus on the people. So with the 10X event, while I was catching myself getting scared, I would look at the comments. And I would look at the faces, and I would scroll. It was online event, so Zoom. So I would scroll through the different pages and see people's faces and like, I'm helping her, I'm helping him. That's why I'm showing up, because I know stuff about YouTube that Grant doesn't know, that Lewis doesn't know, that his other amazing guests that they don't know. I'm here to serve. stop being selfish. Stop finding excuses and make it about them instead of you, Evan, right? Like that's the conversation. So step one is actually catching the fact that you are afraid and not just defaulting to living a small life because you've rationalized why you can't do it. And then step two, to actually go through with it, is understanding that you are somebody who does difficult things and start to build that identity. And the more you start building that muscle, the stronger it gets and the more automatic it becomes. And that you're also here to serve and you're trying to help. And that this thing that you're about to do, yes, is scary, and you want to use it to serve. And it's going to hopefully impact a lot of people. As long as you make your decisions based off of other people's opinions, as long as you stay small because you're afraid of what people will say about you, will think about you, will judge you, you never get to where you want to go. And you're stuck knowing that you're capable of more and being too afraid to act. And we need to change that. You've got that big mission. You can change a lot of lives. And it's time to step into the fear and go change the world. Now, I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video? And what is your plan of action for the next week on it? So when you just get motivated, you get inspired, but you don't actually create a plan of action, there's only a 35% chance of following through. That's what the science says. But if you get inspired, you get motivated, and then you write down a specific plan of action for when and how you are going to do something about it, it's over 91% the chance that you will actually follow through and do it. And when you commit publicly to somebody else, it rises it even higher. So Believe Nation, it's not just about watching videos. I want you to take action and do something. So write down below your single biggest takeaway from this video and what you're going to do about it this week, because I want to celebrate you.
Hey, man.
Evan, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
You got a book coming out, don't you?
You just came out.
Where can people get it?
Get it on Amazon. Easiest spot. Built to serve. Right there.
Let's go, man. If you guys don't know Evan, follow Evan Carmichael. He's got a new book out, Build to Serve. Go grab it today at Amazon. This is a good dude right here.
I was also watching the Olympics. And this is what I realized this when I was watching the London Olympics, so a couple Olympics ago. And I was annoyed by how all the journalists asked all the athletes the same stupid question. Literally, everyone. Were you nervous? Or are you nervous? Whether it was before or after the event. Every single time. And every single time, all the athletes gave the exact same answer. No, I was excited. No, I'm excited. Every single time. These elite athletes had learned to interpret body stimulus. What are the signs of nervousness? Your heart races, you visualize the future, your hands get clammy. What are the stimulus for excitement? Your heart races, you visualize the future, your hands get clammy. They had learned to interpret what their body was telling them, not as nerves, but as excitement. And the reason the journalists said, "Were you nervous?" is because they would be nervous. Athletes would never say that to each other. They say, "That was exciting." So I tried it. I did a little test on myself, right? I'm on a plane. We start hitting some really bad turbulence. I go, and then I say to myself, literally out loud, "This is exciting." And I was fine. And I was fine. So I do it a lot now. When I find myself getting nervous, I say to myself, "This is so exciting," and I'll explain the reason to myself why. So, like an actor, you don't get nervous when you go on stage anymore, but occasionally you do. So I get to go on stage a lot, and I don't really get nervous much anymore, but I was going to present to 3,000 chiefs of police right in the middle of all this police brutality hullabaloo. And I got really nervous because the stakes were really high, you know? And I was literally getting nervous backstage. And I said to myself, this is so exciting. I have an opportunity to talk to a group of people who can actually affect change in this country. This is really exciting. Now, I could have said the same thing. I'm so nervous. I'm about to talk to people who can... But the interpretation was excitement. Just change the narrative. It works brilliantly well.
If you want another awesome video from Grant Cardone, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
This is why men have an advantage in social media over women.
It's time to unravel the disease of perfectionism.